Hello, Mr. Yates. My name's Ashley Graham, as you probably know, because we're in like week 6 or something. But this is my reflection. I'm in my room right now. I'm in my pajamas, obviously. And yes. Anyways, so today's readings were mostly a checklist of things that we should have before presenting a speech. I thought this was really easy. Not easy, but more helpful, because honestly, there's so many things to remember and there's so many good points. I just don't want to miss anything, and I don't want to exclude any of the great things I've learned, because I've learned so much. So it was really helpful to just an overview for perspective, have a summary of all the things that I need to make sure I have before presenting my speech. I will definitely be using a lot of these things for my sermon assignment coming up in a couple weeks. We have to present a sermon, obviously. And I will be using a lot of these things. And for my next speech, my persuasion speech, I'll also be using a lot of them. Some of the things I struggled with a lot with my information speech was preparation in how I would lay out my notes when I could look back at them. Because I did prepare, but when I would go to look at my notes, I found myself getting lost in them and being even more confused when I looked at them and just thinking, where am I? Where are my main points? What am I doing? And so it really helped. It really helps to really plan out like how you're going to write it and not just have it all over the place, and it doesn't help to have everything you're going to say, because it just confuses you even more and you lose your spot, and it's just from there. So that is something I will never do again. Learn the hard way. And a couple other things was using credible sources. Because you can't make someone believe you if you don't have credible sources. You can say anything and make people believe you. That's happened to me so many times. I feel like I've heard people, well, I'm actually really gullible. People call me like the most global person ever. I don't understand, really. I mean, I am kind of global, but just because I don't want to assume and doubt people. But sometimes you kind of have to in speeches when people are just saying things and you're thinking, this is too good to be true. Or that just happens to fit too well and they don't have a source. They don't really source anyone in it. So that's really helpful to have, to just make sure you gain the trust of the audience. For this week's speech, I'm actually pretty excited because persuasion is fun. Information was fun, but information just freaks me out. I don't know why. It just reminds me of like 6th grade when I had to do my state speech and I had to have all the facts, and I had to, I was shaken because I was in 6th grade, and I don't know, I was really insecure and scared of people. So that was just kind of like a blast from the past, and I just got kind of freaked out. But the persuasion speech will be fun, I think. I think another thing that I really need to work on that was mentioned in there is having a good introduction, because I would get so caught up in my introduction I wouldn't know how to transition into my first topic, or I would just get super excited and just go, hello, I'm Ashley Graham, and now we're going to talk about, and I just like go into it, and it just was, the audience was so confused, and that was an outtake. That was for an outtake from my information speech, and so that was just bad. But some things I learned from the presentation or the lecture was about persuasion. And something I really liked was follow Christ's teachings when they convince an audience to act. And I think that in a lot of sermons that I've heard, the best ones I've heard are the ones that have literally convicted and encouraged and inspired and challenged me so much that I literally want to just get out of my seat and do exactly what they're telling me to do. It's not like it's like hypnotist or anything, but it's just, it really, the words they use, the encouragement and the challenging voice that they have really makes an audience just want to do it, what God has called them to do. Oh, and by the way, another thing that I do really badly that I'm now noticing is going like this with my hands, so I'm just going to try not to do that. The filler word thing I'm getting better at, but the hand thing has got to go. So, continuing. A couple more things from the lecture that I really liked was just the simple facts of using information that's vital and key to the presentation, using credible sources, using sources in general, and just basically doing things like that. Another thing that I learned was just not to attack a certain group of people or slander them, because you never know who's in the audience. Honestly, there's been a couple times where I'm really grateful that a Mormon is not on the audience, because the pastor is making fun of Mormons and it's just super awkward, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So just things like that. And I know there's been certain situations when that's happened. So just being aware of your audience, even if you don't know, just to be careful, unless you just are really confident and have I don't know, if it's a small group of people, I guess it's different, but, you know, when you're in audiences of more than 10 or 5 people, which I've had 5, and I know that none of them will be offended by a Mormon joke. No, like, I should do it, because that's still kind of mean, but, you know. Anyways, so I learned a lot of great things about the persuasion speech and how to prepare a speech in general, because sometimes it's hard to get it all together and actually prepare one. So I'm learning a lot, and I really appreciate everything that you are doing to help me succeed. No arms. Okay. Have a nice night. Bye!